All right.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's team training. We're so excited to have Susie Blissmer with us today. Hi, Susie.
Hello.
You guys, Susie is the top seller. She was the top seller in Indiana. Got to wear the sash and walk across stage at conference. Were you a conference?
Well, I had to do it virtually, but I have my sash and
But you have your sash. You wore it in your living room and did the wave.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Well, we're so excited to have you talk to us. What an honor to have our top seller in Indiana be on our team and talk to us about different ways that we can increase PV. So before you jump in, Susie, I would love for you to just share your Color Street journey, like how you joined.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually just hit my 1-year anniversary on August 24th.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So about, I don't know, a year and a month ago, I had gotten invited to a party, never had tried Color Street ever. And I had a background in direct sales. So I was interested in the product.
Okay.
But honestly, I had tried some other companies and I really was hesitant and didn't think it was going to work. But a family member had a party, and of course I was going to support her. So I did the buy 3, get 1 free.
Mm-hmm.
And it got delivered, and I kind of let it sit on my table for a little while. And my husband, I'll be honest, but my husband went away for a weekend and I was bored. So I'm like, well, I'm going to give this a try. And so I put them on and found it was really easy. It was Coral Bay. That was my first set. So I put them on, and then I actually went outside and worked in my garden, and I never wear gloves, and they stayed on. And so I was sold right there. So I reached out to the person who did the party for my friend and said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to join. And at first it was going to be a hobby, and then it just exploded.
I love that for so many reasons. Just because it was going to be a hobby, and then oops, now you're the top seller in Indiana. Oops. And also you only joined a year ago. Like, that shows you are inspiring other women that like you can be a top seller in your state after a year of joining. Like, it doesn't have to be a long process to do well in this business. So thanks for showing us and inspiring us that that's possible, Susie. So we can't wait to hear all of your tips on increasing PV. I'm just going to let you jump in, and I'll interrupt you here and there with any questions I have. But take it away, girl.
All right. Well, please do, because sometimes I tend to, get off track. So reel me back in if you need to.
Okay.
But the first thing I wanted to talk about, well, I wanted to say thank you. It's an honor to be here and talk about this. And I'm really excited. I love to do these kinds of things. I'm actually a salesperson by trade. I have a full-time other job that I do, and I'm a director of sales for 2 hotels. So I have been able to incorporate, I'm on my lunch hour right now.
Oh, wow.
I'm able to incorporate a lot of what I do in my normal daily work into this. So it was just a perfect fit for me. So I wanted to talk about, first of all, parties, because that to me is what started it all for me. I know a lot of people don't love doing parties. To me, I do them anyway, whether I like it or not. It's an important part of my business. So when I first started, I went to my circle of friends and I talked to everybody I knew, whether I had been close with them or I haven't talked to them in 5 years. If they were a Facebook friend, I reached out, because what could they say? The worst they could tell me is no. So I asked everyone I knew to have a party, and so many people said yes. And I may have bribed a few, and that's okay. But so many people said yes that my calendar was full, and they were virtual parties. So I was doing parties, at the same time, and just kind of copying what I was doing on each of them.
Yeah.
And what I learned from my very first parties was, if I want to keep this going, I have to talk to everybody. So when people would join my parties, I would automatically friend request them. And once they accepted the friend request, I automatically invited them to my VIP group because I figured they're going to get double exposure, not only from the party, but they're also going to see what I'm doing in my VIP group.
That's
So
brilliant.
I did that from everyone from the beginning. And I typically run my parties, they're 10 days. I start them on a Friday and I go through to the following Sunday because I like to hit both pay periods. If people get paid on the weekends, I like to do that.
You're smart.
Yeah. So what I do is usually, I do all my normal stuff, and I won't talk about really what I do in the parties, but usually with 2 days left in the party, I reach out to everyone by personal message. Well, I guess I should go back. When the party first starts, before it starts, I reach out to everyone via personal message to ask if they want a sample. I don't just rely on putting that graphic in the party saying, hey, do you want a sample? I actually specifically reach out to them personally. A lot of people don't see those messages. They may not respond, but that's okay.
Yeah.
A lot of them do. And that gives me my first interaction with them.
Yeah. Here's something tricky that I just want everyone to know is if you're not friends with them, it goes in like their other folder. So I love that you are friend requesting them. Yeah. But that's just something good to know. If they're not responding, it might be because you're not friends with them and they're not even seeing it.
Right. And someone actually just shared a graphic that shows that I've been putting in my parties now that says, hey, here's where to look to see if I've sent you a message. So they will go and look for it. And that's been a little bit helpful.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. So I will follow back up with the people that I have sent samples to in the mail, just to kind of, grow our relationship and talk about whether they liked it and what they liked and that kind of thing. But with 2 days left in the party, I go to all of my parties and I reach out to everyone again. And if they have not placed an order, I'll say, hey, your friend is just about getting ready to wrap up her party. I see you haven't placed an order. Did you want to place an order before the party closes? That is like one of my biggest things in parties. I would have left so much money on the table if I did not do that. I just had this happen last week. Somebody placed a $150 order at the last minute when I messaged.
Yeah.
So, not only is it helping me, but it's helping the hostess get free items, and then she's happy. And so it's a win-win.
Totally. Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
I think that's so brilliant because I think a lot of people do this where when you send a group message or do a group post, everyone's like, she's not talking to me. But when you send a one-on-one individual message, it's very clear who they're talking to. It's like, okay, Susie's asking me if I want to support my friend and buy some nails. And you feel a little more obligated to answer. Whereas if Susie's asking 10 people at the same time, I'm like, I'm just going to fly under the radar and, and not answer.
Yes. And I make sure I end those personal messages with a question. Yeah. So they feel they need to respond rather than just leaving it open-ended.
Yes, I do that too.
Yeah. So if they respond and they place an order, great. I also go into everyone who has ordered and said, thank you so much for your order. And then I ask them personally if they'd like to have a party. I ask everybody if they'd like to have a party, and I mention what they can get for free. I mention that they can be helping their friend get additional free items if their party qualifies for that. So the biggest thing I can say about parties is just talking to everyone personally. It takes a little bit more time, but the results are totally worth it. Last week I spent 10 minutes messaging everyone from the party and I got 3 additional sales and I booked 2 parties. 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't take that long. I love that you said it was 10 minutes and you got all these extra sales that you would have left on the table otherwise.
Yes. And I'm learning to use the voice clips now too. I've noticed, like, if you talk to someone, I had a couple errors, so I'm starting to get used to how that works, but I like it because when you leave a voice clip for someone, they get to hear your personality. And so, if you're messaging them about, do you want a sample, they can hear the smile in your voice and things like that. So I think it's important for them to get to know you as a person. It's harder to say no to someone that you feel like you have a connection with. So
true. You are making it so much more personable, Susie. This is making it very clear to me why you are the top seller, because you are building all these relationships right from the start, right at the very beginning of the party. We're going to be friends. I'm going to message you. I'm going to voice message you. You're going to hear my voice. I'm going to follow up. Like, you're building all these relationships, which is what this business is all about.
Yeah, I really do think of all my people in my groups and my parties as friends, because I've gotten to know them so well. So let's see, what else do I want to say about parties? When I message everyone, a lot of people will say no, and a lot of people will not answer, and that's okay.
Yes.
My favorite saying is, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So if I get one person to buy and one person to book a party, that's more than I would have got had I not tried. So that's so
go for no.
Yes, absolutely. So let's see. The other thing that I love is when people tell me, I'd really love to place an order, but I just can't afford it right now. That's like my in to get them to book a party, because they want to order, they like the items. And so I tell them, great, it doesn't cost any money to book a party. And I've been doing something lately that's been helping me a lot too, for people who are kind of on the fence. I tell them, listen, because they may say, I don't know if I have enough people who are going to order. And I kind of explain, it really only takes 4 buy 3 get 1 free orders to qualify. But since they're going through the time and helping me out by having a party, and by helping their hostess out by having a party, I tell them, if they invite 25 Facebook friends, I will give them a free set from my stash. Because then I know at least they're trying. They're not just inviting 5 people and expecting that to work. At least I know that they're making an effort and inviting a good number of people.
That's brilliant, because you're rewarding effort.
Yes. And I have earned enough free sets that I can share. So, and just kind of wrap up with parties. This is the best way that I have found to move outside of my circle. I started with all my friends and family, and I live here in Northwest Indiana. My second biggest buying group, or active on Facebook, I guess I should say, is from Reno, Nevada. And I have never been to Reno. I know like one person in Nevada, and I just spiderwebbed all these parties off of the first party that I had out there. And now I have tons of friends from Reno. So that's a great way to get outside of your circle. All the parties I have going on right now, none of them are friends and family. It's all, gone out from there.
Right. So you're expanding your network. I love it. Because so many people say like, oh, well, I don't know anyone locally. And same for me. Like, I don't have that many local customers, but I'm like, the world is my oyster. I have all of America and Canada,
Right.
Like there's so many people.
Absolutely. So, okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, if it's okay if I move topics here, is VIP groups, and specifically growing my VIP group and what I do in my VIP group. And the first thing I want to talk about is like the biggest tip I probably could share that has worked for me in growing my VIP group. My VIP group is now at 944 members, and I have a really active group. I'm so lucky. I have so many great women in there, and the things that I ask them to do and the games that I ask them to play, it just amazes me how much they participate. But of course, it all started with friends and family. Mm-hmm. And so let's see here. I talked about how I friend request everyone in parties and I invite them to my VIP group. The biggest thing that I do, let me find this in my notes here, is I offer a monthly drawing. And it started out small, but as my business has grown, it has grown. So it's a buy 3 get 1 free drawing. And what I do is for the first, I offer a big prize for every 50 buy 3 get 1 free orders I get for people who are in my VIP group. So depending on how the month is going, I could end up with 3 or 4 big prizes. And like this month for August, I have a Kate Spade backpack and I have a Brighton bracelet, and I'm 4 orders away from adding a 3rd prize. So I kind of use that as a lure. So I post in my parties when someone places a buy 3 get 1 free order. Hey, this person, thank you for your order. Since you have placed a buy 3 get 1 free order, if you also join my VIP group, you'll get an entry to win these prizes.
Oh my word. You are blowing my mind. Like, these are so many genius tips. So and what else I love about it is that, so often we'll do an incentive like in a private group, of course. But we won't attach like, it's for every 10, 20, 50 orders. So then we're like, well, shoot, I still have to give this prize, but maybe I didn't get all the sales I needed from it. And I love that this one is attached to like, once we reach this number, then,
Yes. I do that with everything, even if I'm just doing like a guess the nails game in my VIP group, because I want those comments. I want all the interaction. So I'll tell them once we hit 40, then we'll do a drawing for this. But so in the party, when I'm trying to lure people over, I put my link in there. I think maybe 1 or 2 people have not joined after that because they get a free chance to win something.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do it? And when I started, my prizes were smaller. I did like the very first month, I did like a gift bag with dollar store items, and I put one in for every order. But as it grew, I started doing some bigger things, and now my VIP group expects it. Like one month I did a Tiffany bracelet, and I mean, it's fun, and I can afford to do that with the amount of sales that I have. And
how
it's a
big
business.
is your VIP group now? I'm so curious.
How big is it? It's 944 people.
Dang, girl. Okay, so that's after 1 year, people, like 1 year of consistently having parties, consistently adding those people in the parties as friends and inviting them to your VIP group, and then also doing that, in the parties saying, come join my VIP group because you did a buy 3 get 1 and you can enter to win. Like, brilliant way to grow your group.
So the other thing that I do that has been very, very helpful for me, and it probably sounds like I do a lot of giveaways, and I'll be honest, I do, but it's worth it for me. It's been very helpful to me. And
it obviously works.
So every month or so I do a grow the group challenge, and I know a lot of people do that, but I offer a prize, and my ladies just love to win. I mean, I give away really nice prizes, but they don't even care what it is. A lot of times I don't even tell them what the prize is going to be. So I will do like once a month or every other month, I'll do the grow the group challenge, and I'll say, for every person that you invite, you get 1 entry into the drawing. So I'm only actually giving away 1 prize, but I mean, like, people will come in and invite 50 people, and I just make them use the invite button. I don't make them share the link, and I know everybody's not going to join, but I will see a huge increase in my numbers,
Really?
when they do that, and I'll give away 1 prize. And I see who's being invited because I have to approve them. And it's just worked very well for me. And I do find a lot of new customers that way.
Oh my gosh. So many good tips.
So those are the main things that I do to grow my group. And, it's just that formula. And I know most people probably know that, but it's like, have your parties, bring those people over to your VIP group, keep your parties, keep booking parties, and keep growing your VIP group. And that's just going to keep your sales going. So that's kind of my formula.
Oh my gosh. I like it. It's simple. It's, it's something that I feel like people can do on repeat. And you're building, again, I think the reason why your VIPs are like all in, like super involved in your group and like your games and your giveaways is because you built that relationship first with them, with those one-on-one personal messages, becoming their friend. So they're seeing your post, asking if they want a sample. Like, those are all great basics to building a relationship with your customers. And then once they feel like they're your friend, and you said you feel like they're your friends, then they're just having a great time in your group. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed, I share a lot of who I am in my live events and in my games and stuff, and they'll message me. Like, I'm a huge fan. I'm like a diehard fan of the show Friends. So they'll actually message me when they see something Friends related. So it's cool because I know, I feel like they know me as a person, and they're invested.
Yeah, you're sharing your own life in there, which is one of the things I share, like the VIP method. Which I have a whole video on this, but it's basically in your VIP group, you want to post, if you're like, well, I don't know what to post in there. I say post volume, which is nails, anything that's going to boost your volume, post interactive stuff, which you do, and then personal stuff, which you do. Like that's, you're obviously using that formula without even knowing it. And it's working so well because will you tell us how much you sold in the past year?
Yeah, sure. My number was, find the exact number, $80,757.27.
Oh my word. Blowing our minds.
It blew my mind.
Incredible.
I did not expect it to be that fantastic. Like I said, I had done some other direct sales companies in the past, and this one is definitely the most amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm guessing you're having fun with it.
Oh, I'm having a ball. It's funny because I watched the conference virtually, and I always think of your comment when you said, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And I totally agree with that. I mean, there's some things that are maybe not the most fun to do, but the interaction with people and I don't know, I love it. I have a ball doing it, and I have to have a ball doing it because I work a full-time job that's really demanding, and this is just kind of for fun. So.
I love it. You're just, again, you're really showing the way of like, hi, I've only been here a year. I have a full-time job. Like, there's no excuses, if Susie can do this with a full-time job as a, 1-year-old stylist, like you can do it. Like we can do this. And you have just like, you created systems, which I think is super important to come up with like systems. And you said you use kind of the same posts in your parties and things like that. So somebody wants to know, do you have a team under you now?
I do. I have a team of about 12. I'm working on growing that. The sales comes a lot more easily to me than the recruiting, but I am working on that because I've been in the senior stylist ranking forever, and I want to move up to team leader. So I am working on that. So yes.
Yeah. I mean, and you have so many, how many parties do you typically have a week?
Like right now I have 4 parties going right now.
Just like how many would you say you do a month then on average?
So they don't all qualify, but I'd say I usually end up with 10 to 12 a month of qualified parties.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, if you're a go for no girl, that's 10 to 12 people that you can say, hey, have you ever considered, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that's a simple way one simple thing you could do to boost your recruiting numbers. So.
Yep. And I'm working on that. I got a new one yesterday. So.
Atta girl. I love that. And I'm sure you've earned like lots of, circle of excellence or trips or things like that because of this. So it's worth it. Anyway, I'm really stoked about this. Like, I think it feels simple, but doable. I'm excited to try some of these VIP posts. I love your party method. I think it's brilliant. So I hope everyone just take like at least one thing that Susie has shared and try it today. Don't wait, try it today and see how it works. That's how just a 1% difference can make all the difference in your business. So thank you so much, Susie. That was really great. Everyone's loving it and commenting how much they appreciate this. So thanks for your time during your lunch break. So sweet of you. And thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.